Let us open our hearts to Christmas. Open them to the hope that overcomes the world's discouragement. Open them to the gentleness that redeems the world's harshness. Open them to the loveliness that illuminates life's most difficult times. Open them to the faith and its joy and the song of its joy that sings in the presence of life. Those words adapted from A. Powell Davies. We invite you to rise in body and or spirit and join in singing, "O Come, All Ye Faithful." The words are printed on the insert to your program.
Oh
Please be seated. Good evening, and welcome to the First Parish Church Unitarian Universalist on this Christmas Eve. I'm the Reverend Susan Milner. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and it is my pleasure and my honor to serve as interim minister to this congregation. We are so glad that all of you have joined us here tonight, whether in this building or online, members, friends, families, neighbors, those from near here and those from far away. Together, we will tell an old story and sing familiar tunes and celebrate the presence of hope. Wherever you come from tonight, however old or young you are, wherever you are on your journey, we very much want you to feel at home here for this time. If you are new to this building, please know that the restrooms can be found in the foyer and hallway along the back entrance behind me through that door on my left. Again, many warm welcomes to you on this Christmas Eve. Story of the Nativity will be shared in two parts, and in each one there's an ancient reading and a contemporary reading. First, the ancient in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment when Quirinius was governor of Syria. And all went to be enrolled, each to his own city. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the city of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to be delivered, and she gave birth to her firstborn son and wrapped him in swaddling clothes and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn.
The second reading is Christmas Evensong by Mark Bellatini. It is the deepest part of the night now. Many mothers give birth this night in Mexico, in New York City, in Kuala Lumpur, in Tsinghua, China, and Tallinn, Estonia. Some are poor, some well-to-do. Some call this time Christmas, some do not. It is midnight in Punta Arenas, Chile, and it is scented with summer roses, and groups of friends in Hobart, Tasmania, gather for mint tea on the patio, commenting on the beauty of the Christmas sunsets. Some will never be mothers or fathers. Some will. Close in Irkutsk in Siberia, the dark ice of Lake Baikal cracks, while on the outskirts of Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia, children who have never heard of Jesus or candles dream of riding horses over the hills. Over Montevideo, the Southern Cross rises bright among the constellations as midnight yields its ancient Spanish carols. Over Montreal, Orion hovers, its belt a comforting sash across the icy, cold sky. A new mother sees the stars from her hospital bed and smiles. The world is great. The world is glorious. And this wondrous night tells only one small part of its story. Yet I say even this part of the story is great. And each word in the story is great. And the breath of silence between each word, and the silence found at both the beginning and the end of this story, is an emblem of a greatness and a glory yet to be discovered.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing the first Noel.
From the Gospel of Luke, book 2, chapter 2, verses 8 through 20. And in that region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were filled with fear. And the angel said to them, "Be not afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of a great joy, which will come to all the people. For to you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace among all with whom he is pleased." When the angel went away from them into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go over to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which God has made known to us." And they went with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. And when they saw it, they made known the saying which had been told them concerning the child. And all who heard it wondered at what the shepherds told them. But Mary kept all these things, pondering them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all that they had heard and seen as it had been told to them.
It was quiet enough in the alley behind the barn, warm against piles of hay, despite the winter chill. I heard the sharpness in her breathing. "It's coming." And I held her against the cold, against the pain, against it all. "It's coming." They were hard, those first hours we all spent together, coming after so long a journey. Later, poets would tell of stars, shepherds, and seers, songs of angels. But all that I remember at the end of that longest night is the cry of my heart, as in my arms I held perfect love.
We invite you to rise and embody our spirit and join in singing Silent Night. please join in a spirit of prayer or meditation, attention or intention. Spirit of life and love, on this loveliest and most joyous of nights, bring the light of hope into our struggling world and into our hearts. In a world riven by war, fear, and violence, may we find moments of deep peace, so that when the celebrating is done, we are renewed for the effort to make the world a more just and hospitable place for all, where differences and divisions can be healed among friends or families, peoples or nations. May we find the love needed for discovery and reconciliation. Where any feel excluded or unseen, may we find the way to reach out and embrace them. Where the possibilities of life are waiting to be born yet again and again, may we believe that it can be so and open our hearts to their coming. Now, in the sacred quiet of this shared intent, let us enter into the silence. May the next year bring greater peace to the world, and may our hopes and dreams take flight on the wings of love. Amen. The Magic Moment by Victoria Safford. Now is the moment of magic, when the whole round earth turns again toward the sun. And here's a blessing. The days will be longer and brighter now, even before the winter settles in to chill us. Now is the moment of magic, when people beaten down and broken, with nothing left but misery and candles and their own clear voices, kindle tiny lights and whisper secret music. And here's a blessing. The dark universe is suddenly illuminated by the lights of the menorah, suddenly ablaze with the lights of the Kinara, and the whole world is glad and loud with winter singing. Now is the moment of magic, when an eastern star beckons the ignorant toward an unknown goal. And here's a blessing. They find nothing in the end but an ordinary baby born at midnight, born in poverty, and the baby's cry, like bells ringing, makes people wonder as they wander through their lives what human love might really look like and sound like, feel like. Now is the moment of magic, and here's a blessing. We already possess all the gifts we need. We've already received our presence, ears to hear music, eyes to behold lights, hands to build true peace on earth, and to hold each other tight in love. Christmas Eve is a special time in a congregation. It reminds us that a church is not only a building, however handsome and historic, or a place to light candles and raise voices to the heavens. A church is a place for people to gather, if only for an hour, in refuge from the cold of a weary and troubled world, a place to remember and to celebrate what is deepest and most ultimate in this life we share, a place where you do not need to hold membership to belong to a sacred time. It is for this, above all, that we exist here. For this, that we open our doors and keep the many ministries of First Parish going every day in this, our 391st year. It is the gift of your presence that we cherish most tonight, but we also appreciate your support. The Christmas offering will now be taken and gratefully received. Would the ushers come forward, please?
Would you rise in body and
spirit and join in singing Angels We Have Heard on High. Christmas Eve, it is a time we seek the magic moment by telling stories of wonder and hope. And those stories include, of course, the old story of two people seeking shelter and a child born in a crude barn. One of the joys of the season is that this story has a way of retelling itself with unexpected twists. A music director with whom I once worked told of a nativity pageant at a church she had served. As the congregation prepared for its annual pageant, one little boy, let's call him Luke, desperately wanted to play Joseph, but he was cast instead as the innkeeper who only had one line: "There is no room at the inn." Luke wasn't happy, but when the night of the big pageant came, he was ready to use the one gift he had been given. Events unfolded. The journey ended. Joseph and Mary knocked at the door of the inn, and Luke threw the door open, exclaiming, "Come on in, we've been waiting for you." He then proceeded to show Mary and Joseph to the guest room and give them a tour of the inn. What a difference one shift can make. If tonight we were telling the young Luke's story, it would be a narrative of welcome rather than exclusion. Of course, the power of the original story is that it challenges us to practice true hospitality, to become keepers of the door who are generous with passage. And if you think about it, there is welcome in the story. The shepherds seek out what lies beneath the star. The wise people bear gifts based on rumor, and Mary and Joseph welcome strange visitors to the one place of refuge they have found in an intimate moment with a newborn child. Can we embrace that challenge to welcome? Can we see beyond the easy categories of life that divide us? Can the story remind us that the most humble among us have gifts of the human heart to offer others? If the story teaches us that the deepest truths find their own language across barriers of time and place, will we recognize them? The late writer and professor Leo Buscaglia experienced such welcome years ago when he arrived in Bali the day before Christmas on a research project. He made his way to the settlement of Ubud, where the people received him graciously and offered him a choice. He could either stay in the leader's palace or in a cottage further away. Choosing the cottage, Buscaglia was told that a young man, Ratab, would help him with logistics in exchange for the chance to practice his English. As the two traveled through the Balinese countryside, the professor commented that it was the perfect place to spend Christmas. Ratab asked what Christmas was, and his guest told the whole story. Ratab was interested but puzzled by two things. First, he did not understand why Santa Claus did not dress like Jesus. And secondly, he did not understand why people did not allow Mary and Joseph to share their bed. Well, Buscaglia explained, they didn't know that the child was going to be considered divine. That didn't matter, Ratab insisted. If she were going to give birth, what difference did it make? The right thing was to give her a bed. Over the next 24 hours, as Ratab introduced him to the other villagers, Buscaglia found himself telling the Christmas story over and over and explaining the traditions of tree trimming and gift giving. That night, he was invited to the palace to celebrate the birthday of the prince's youngest son, and when the evening ended, Ratab accompanied him back to the cottage. As they returned, the American noticed that so many stars filled the sky, it seemed the, quote, dark universe was suddenly illuminated. Ratab put his arm warmly around his new friend's shoulder and said, "It is a beautiful Christmas night." When they reached the cottage, Buscaglia stopped, still in his tracks. In the doorway of the cottage stood a banana tree that had been trimmed into the shape of a pine. On each branch were tied flowers, and throughout the leaves of the tree rested small clay lamps like tiny stars. "Your Christmas tree," Ratab said. Buscaglia's eyes filled with tears. Assuming that this was the custom and wanting to be a good friend, Ratab joined him in a cry. After a while, they entered the cottage, which was full of people. Each had brought a present for the guest, whatever they had to give: bananas, coconuts, papayas, pieces of batik, even oil lamps. Everyone wanted to hear the story of Christmas again, and so Buscaglia sat on the floor and told it, with Ratab translating. Afterwards, he passed the fruit he'd been given around, but soon he found he had a fierce desire to give them gifts in return. And so he took everything he had brought with him in his suitcase, t-shirts, shirts, socks, and gave it all away. The people put the clothes on and began to sing and dance. They all celebrated until Ratab announced that his friend needed to rest. He then explained that several guests had asked for the honor of staying overnight. "When you have made a new friend," Ratab explained, "it is bad manners to leave him." The bed was small, Buscaglia writes, but Ratab selected 6 of the guests to join me. They put me in the middle and arranged themselves around me. Exhausted, they fell asleep instantly, one holding my hand, another with his head on my shoulder. I stared up at the thatched roof and listened to their even breathing. The light of a single oil lamp danced beneath the stars. Ratab, who had taken the place of honor at my side, said, "I still don't understand why they could not make room for Mary." After a moment of silence, he said, "Well, Merry Christmas," and fell asleep. What does human love look like? It looks like a child valued as a precious life filled with unimaginable potential, no matter where that child is born. It looks like a mother supported in care and respect. It looks like a community gathered in love. When we cross the borders of welcome, when we enter the heart of the acceptance for which we all long, it is the face of a friend. If you seek the magic moment this season, remember, You already possess all the gifts you need. Any place on earth can be home. Any moment can be Christmas when we understand the journey of others, when we give from our hearts and hold each other tight. When we do, the peace on earth for which we all wait will truly come, and we will, all of us. Blessed be. Merry Christmas. Now the choir is going to sing Joy to the World, and then we'll invite you to rise and turn and face the choir and sing it back to them. And now may joy be your companion, whether you are with others or alone. May love be your strength, and may the gift of community dwell in your heart. For here in this place, you will always be welcome, whenever you choose, wherever you need to be. The words of Maureen Kalorn.
Thank you.